in, like on the, what do you call the septum?
Or should I do
Get it started again.
Like this?
It's the opposite of what you're supposed to do, stars.
We have just about 30 questions.
30 questions.
Will you talk a little bit about, explain that you were chosen by Christopher, and you and a few others were chosen by Christopher to talk about him and answer a series of questions.
Okay.
And just say something like that.
Okay. Should I be like, welcome to FrienDiagram, or no?
Do you have any questions about like what this project
Yeah, what the hell is going on?
Oh, you don't know anything about it. We didn't explain it properly.
So the idea is we pick a subject. Christopher is the subject, and we just interview 4 to 6 different people, and they choose
46?
4 to 6.
He chose
Yeah.
the people.
He chooses the people who are interviewed to answer like a set questions about him or her, and then
The same questions?
yeah, the same questions for everyone. Supposedly we'll edit them
Who wins?
together.
Right, it is a contest.
You win.
I didn't have to be nice to everyone, and I can tell people that, you know what, I just don't like you.
Excellent. Where's Christopher from?
New Hampshire? Vermont? Montpelier? No, that's George Washington. I'm pretty sure he's from New Hampshire. Or Connecticut. It's up north. It's not New York. He moved to New York. He would tell you he's from New York City. He's from New York City. That's where he always says he's from, New York City, but it's like New Hampshire, I'm pretty sure. Can I get a little help? It is New Hampshire, right?
Christopher is from New Hampshire, but he talks as if he's from New York City.
Christopher is from, if you ask him, Christopher's from New York City. But I believe he was born in New Hampshire. In like Summerland or Summersville or Summer's Eve or something, somewhere like that.
Christopher's from Nashua, New Hampshire. No, Somersworth, New Hampshire. Also known as Scummersworth, New Hampshire. He's a fellow New Englander like me.
Will you talk about how you know Christopher?
Sure. I met Christopher here in Wilmington, North Carolina. When I moved here a little over 2 years ago, I was working at University of North Carolina, Wilmington, and he has a job in the library, and we met at a poetry reading, and we looked at each other, and it was like, you know, friends at first sight.
We know each other from work. I had worked at the library for 2 years when he started, and we became friends.
Are we rolling?
Oh, is it rolling?
Yeah.
I met Christopher when we were both 18 years old. I'm going to keep looking at Beth, is that okay?
Yeah.
I met Christopher when I was 18 years old. We were both 18 years old. We both moved to New York City to go to college, but we were not prepared for college. We just basically wanted a reason to move to New York. And we both met a girl, kind of like your friend, who we didn't like that much, but we met each other through her, and then we ditched her. And the first time we met, I picked his nose, and he hooked up with a girl.
He doesn't mind people knowing he's gay. I mean, you can say
Well, I mean, yeah, he's gay.
Like, no, of course he doesn't mind.
Well, that's one funny thing. My dad, when I started hanging out with Christopher, I would tell my dad, like, when my dad would call, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to dinner with Christopher, or I'm doing something with Christopher, and all this stuff. And my dad's a good old boy that believes in Adam and Eve and everything, and he, one day, I told my mom, yeah, Christopher's gay, and we're best friends, and blah, blah, blah. She was like, but then my dad, I was talking to him one day, and I had said Christopher again, and he was like, is Christopher gay? And I was like, yeah, why? And he was like, well, I just never heard of someone calling themselves Christopher. Usually men call themselves Chris.
What was your first impression of Christopher?
I was actually a little nervous. He seemed intimidating to me, and he was the first openly gay person that I had met.
I always try to tell him this, and he doesn't believe me, but I was, it was my first day on campus, my new job, and I went to this, like a reading. I work in the creative writing department. It was like a fiction reading, and it was at the library, and Christopher was hosting it. And so he got up and was talking, and he just like looked very put together, and he looked cool and fun, and he was funny, and I just thought like, oh, that guy seems awesome. Like, I wonder if I'm cool enough to be friends with that guy.
Very outgoing, very talkative, very sociable. Is that a word?
That he had very interesting hair. That was it, yes.
What do you think Christopher is afraid of?
Well, Christopher is, well, I mean, to be a little honest now, Christopher is afraid of revealing too much of himself and his fears up front, which is why he's so funny and sarcastic and deflective when you meet him, and it takes a little bit of work to actually penetrate that.
He drinks a lot of iced coffee.
Iced coffee.
And we got a cup of coffee.
It's like coffee, iced coffee.
Iced coffee.
And drinks iced coffee.
Explain a typical encounter, just day-to-day interaction with Christopher.
But I feel like Christopher's the kind of person like, he'll tell me everything that's happened since I last saw him, and I'll do the same thing.
You have to apologize to him for affronts that he thinks that you're thinking but have never said and actually aren't thinking. And then you have to confirm that you don't hate him.
He usually would start with, tell me everything. And he tells me just about everything that's going on in his day within 30 seconds to a minute.
Is there an unusual detail you know or notice about Christopher?
But I think that's like an important detail. Is he's always going to be the one who says out loud the thing that he's afraid you're thinking, sort of like preempt you thinking something bad. Like, he'll walk in a room and be like, I know you think my hair looks dumb, even if I haven't even had a chance to like notice he's in the room yet.
One of his tells is that he'll run his hand through his hair, like, violently, like that.
He shaved his eyebrows recently.
But also, he jertifies every song lyric. So he could be singing like little Twinkle Twinkle Little Stars, like Twinkle Twinkle Little Fucking Star.
Is Betty White alive? I know he really likes Betty White. Morrissey. I don't know if you want to have dinner with Morrissey because Morrissey's vegan.
Morrissey, which he did just see.
Morrissey?
He loves the Smiths. Like.
But Morrissey, maybe the Smiths.
Not long after Christopher and I became friends, the band Passion Pit came to Wilmington, and we don't get a lot of bands here. I mean, we got there and it was just like mass drunken college kid chaos. And Christopher doesn't drink, and it was freezing, and we were just basically like walking around the tent trying to keep girls from like doing horrible things. They were just so intoxicated. And we ended up having like a sort of miserable time, but when I think back on it, it's kind of funny.
What's Christopher's dream vacation?
Christopher's dream vacation is one where he works the whole time. Even though he would never admit it, when he is just sitting around doing nothing, he is bananas. He would be like emailing and on the phone and hang on a minute and driving and texting and the whole thing. I think that would be, bright lights, big city, no sleep, whole thing.
What do you think Christopher's pet peeve is?
He hates when people don't turn on their blinkers when they're turning.
The guy that works in the library coffee shop who's like, he's probably in college. He's probably like a student at the university, and he's also gay. And I think he's like trying to be friends with Christopher, so whenever Christopher comes to like order coffee or something, the kid is just like trying to be funny, like is singing show tunes loudly, and it just like annoys Christopher so much.
We were pulling out of my neighborhood, and we were at a street, and it was an intersection, and we were going to turn left, and this car was coming down and turned and did not use their turn signal. And he legit rolled down the window, hung out the window, use your blinker, use your blinker. I can't shout it because he'll hear me. And I said, she probably didn't understand what you said, but this motion, she probably felt she was like being somehow sexually assaulted.
Word he likes or dislikes, I would say anything related to the female anatomy.
What's the word he does like?
Pussy.
Who's the woman in Groundhog Day?
Gina Davis?
No,
Andy McDowell. Okay.
If that was one word, he hates that word.
His least favorite word would be like, something racist, like.
Oh no, you're okay.
What would you pick for the title of his biography?
I've got one. Please read this and tell me what you think, but tell me that you loved it. The Christopher Rhodes story.
What's something he wants?
He wants a partner.
A partner.
What fictional character does Christopher remind you of?
Boo Radley.
I mean, to me, it was like instantly engaging and fun and funny. I think he's a wonderful person, and I'm really glad he's my friend.
Okay, my thing. I don't know. We've had some wonderful times together, and I cannot recall any of them right now.
Well, Christopher has been in my life for 18 years. No, I really have no other friends who've lasted 18 years, whatever that says about me. And so I think that says a lot about him. That he's worth it. He's worth the work. Sometimes it's work.
Christopher, I don't know, I don't want to say anything like cheesy, but he really is like he's someone I look up to a lot. He has changed my life in many ways by becoming friends with him, and he's also just, I've never had a friend that is pretty much there for me anytime I need him. It's sappy, but he really is like an amazing human being, and I know he's gonna see that and just love it or hate it, but I really do look up to him a lot, I guess.
Hi, my name is Christopher Rhodes, and I grew up in Somersworth, New Hampshire.
That's good. Do you want to say anything else? People need to know?
My mom's dead.
Watches a lot of porn.